I'm Robbie Aronson, and this is The Bottom Line, Liverpool from the USA.
Hi, welcome to The Bottom Line, Liverpool from the USA. I'm Robbie Aronson alongside my brother, Zack Aronson, also a massive Liverpool fan. Zack, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, Zack, let's go right into it. Yesterday, Liverpool beat Arsenal 3-0. It was a pretty big statement win, I'd say. What did you make of the game?
It's a massive win. First off, huge loss for Chelsea. Liverpool brings the gap down to 2 points. Now they're definitely within shouting range of trying to finish in the top four. Really, really impressed with the way Liverpool played yesterday. Having Jota back in the lineup is a huge plus. I honestly was very surprised to see Bobby start ahead of him. The way Jota's been playing for Liverpool and for the international stage, he's been scoring and getting assists in every game. Like, he's really our spark up front right now. We haven't scored 3 goals in a game, and I can't remember how long. So it's really nice to see him back and healthy and see the team actually being able to create some chances and finish them off.
And the scoring did really start with him coming onto the pitch. It definitely brings something else in. Another big omission from the team was Gini Wijnaldum for James Milner that started. Obviously, Gini's played a lot of games this season. I talked to another Liverpool fan, our dad, who doesn't think that Gini's going to start in the next game. He thinks Klopp's going to go with Milner. What did you think about that pick? And do you think Klopp will, not go with Gini again for Real Madrid?
I disagree with that. I do think that Klopp may have been giving Gini a break. He's been playing a lot, and he knows we have this big game against Real Madrid. And I think he wants to have Gini a little bit rested. I do expect Gini will be starting in that game, probably alongside definitely Fabinho, and I think Thiago. However, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Bobby Firmino maybe in the midfield ahead of Thiago and seeing Thiago playing up top.
So we're going to go with our predictions very shortly, but I also want to talk about a big theme on the show has been Fabinho's performance since he's gone back into that 6 role. Personally, I thought he was absolutely immense in the Arsenal game. I think our Liverpool team has changed, especially with the 2 inexperienced center backs who haven't really let up a goal in their past 3 games. What did you think of Fabinho's performance, his role in the midfield to our shape, and also the 2 young center backs?
I love having Fabinho back in the midfield. I think part of our struggle, one, was that when we got all these injuries to the center back position, it was almost exponentially compounded by taking our midfielders and starting to play them back in defense, because not only were we not having normal center backs back there, but we weren't having the same strong center midfield that we've grown to accustomed to over the years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what have you made of the 2 young center backs as well?
I think they've been great. Honestly, the last few games, I can't point to anything where they've made a serious mistake. I'm very impressed with both of them playing together.
And I know you've always been a huge Trent Alexander-Arnold fan since he came up. Obviously you must have been shocked, just as I was, that he didn't make the England squad. Did he make a statement? And, Klopp said before the game he thought he was the best right back in the world. Do you agree with that?
I 100% agree. I think Trent is the best right back in the world. He might not be the best defensive right back in the world, but all around right back, going forward and defending, I don't think there's anyone better at going forward than Trent. And you could see it just based off that cross he hit to Jota last season. Him and Robertson both put up insane numbers, massive amounts of assists. I was shocked to see him not be picked for that England lineup. I think that England needs to find a new coach, because I don't think he really knows what he's doing.
And also when Liverpool started scoring, when Jota came on, the one thing that, our dad said earlier was the reason he might have started Milner was because he might have known he wanted to take Robertson off. He's played a lot of games. But when Robertson did come off, and Milner was playing left back, we did actually score and we created a lot more goals. Now, I'm not saying Liverpool should not start Robertson, who probably is the best left back in the world. But do you think maybe after the Real Madrid game, Robertson needs a rest because also we saw in the Barcelona game when Robertson came off, and that's a while ago, the team started scoring and it opened up the field. Is that just a coincidence to you, or is that?
I think that's a coincidence, and it's correlation with Jota coming on. I think that was really what changed the game. And once we got that first goal, it opened it up for more goals because Arsenal had to push forward a bit more, and it created a little bit more space because they couldn't just sit back and try and play like park the bus style. They needed to go after it. So I think that was part of the reason why after we got the first one, the floodgates kind of started to open and you saw Liverpool being able to create more chances.
So now I'm going to ask you if you remember well enough to give your player ratings for the Arsenal game. Before then, we go into the preview for the Real Madrid game. So let's start with the goalkeeper, Alisson. What'd you make of his performance?
He didn't do anything wrong, but he really didn't have to do that much. So, I mean, probably give him about a 7.
And Trent?
Trent, probably like an 8.5.
Made a statement. Phillips and Kabak.
Both probably like 8.
Robertson?
Probably an 8.
Milner?
7.5.
Fabinho?
9.
Thiago?
7.5.
Mo Salah?
8.
Bobby?
7.5.
Mane?
8.
Jota when he came off the bench?
9.
And then I guess Genie and Reece Williams didn't really play long enough to get a rating.
Reece doesn't get a rating. Genie maybe like he didn't play enough to really get one either, but I guess like a 6.5, 7.
That's good for me. So Real Madrid won their last game 2-0 against Eibar. And what was kind of interesting, they haven't really played 3 at the back from what I've seen much of the season, but they did play 3 at the back against Eibar. Goals from Marcos Asensio and Karim Benzema. Now, Liverpool have struggled against teams with 3 at the back. I just think back to Chelsea. I think Liverpool were outplayed in that game when Thomas Tuchel started. Is there a player in Real Madrid that, scares you? And do you think that they could go with that formation, or you think that that's just something that they played?
The player on Real Madrid that no matter who they're playing against has to be someone you're worried about is Benzema. He's a goal-scoring machine. He's experienced. He's still kicking it and scoring a lot of goals. He's got a lot left in the tank. So he's definitely someone to look out for, especially going up against 2 young center backs like we have. This guy knows what he's doing. He's been playing forever. He's been scoring goals forever. So I think it's going to be a big challenge for them and a big test. But from what I've seen so far, I think they're up for it.
And now, there's still a little bit of question marks over will Hazard play? Will Valverde play? Carvajal? We know for sure that Sergio Ramos, the villain in all of Liverpool's minds, is not going to play. Are you kind of happy that we don't have to see Ramos, or is kind of upset you that you wanted to kind of play against one of the best center backs in the world?
Look, at the end of the day, I just want to win and get through. So Ramos being out helps our chances of going through. But would I like to beat them with Ramos in? Of course. I want that revenge from that final. I want Mo Salah to have his shot to go at him and take him on and beat him and score a goal. But at the end of the day, I just want to win. That's really all that matters to me.
That's fair enough. Okay, now I'm going to quickly ask you to give your predictions on the 11 that you think that you would start and that you think Klopp would start, and they might be the same.
I would start Alisson in goal, Trent at right back, Nat and Kabak at center back, Robertson at left back. I would start Fabinho in the midfield, Genie and Thiago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would start Mo, Thiago, and Sadio.
And do you think Klopp's going to start that and drop Bobby Firmino, who actually played okay?
Bobby's honestly been playing well. In my opinion, you can't not start Thiago right now. He's been firing on all cylinders. He's the only player on our team aside from Mo who really is looking like he can score goals right now. Hopefully Mane gets back into form soon and he starts scoring goals because he has it in him. But I think that he's maybe lost a little bit of confidence in recent form. So I think that you need to have Thiago in. Bobby, I could see Bobby playing in the midfield kind of like how he ended the game against Arsenal, starting over Thiago, except I think in a big Champions League game against a Real Madrid side that's very experienced, Thiago has more experience in that midfield position. He's won a Champions League with Bayern Munich, and I think that based off of that, I think that Klopp will probably put Thiago in that position.
And you think Genie is a definite starter?
I don't think he's a definite starter, but if I'm going to make a prediction, I would put him in.
And would you personally drop is there a chance he goes with, two deep lying center midfielders? And if that were the case, would you drop Thiago or Gini Wijnaldum?
I think I would. I think I would probably start them both. I don't think I would drop any of them. If I was going to drop one of them, I would drop Thiago for Bobby. That's the only change I would personally do.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think there's no way that Fabinho gets dropped.
So I don't think Bobby will start because I think that's a very attacking formation. I think that you could see the game end that way. You could see Bobby come on as a sub later on in the game, especially if we need to get an away goal or something. And you can see that kind of like what they did against Arsenal. And we really looked good going forward when we had that lineup in. Mm-hmm. So I think that you can definitely expect to see that as a sub at the very least.
Now, Jota coming off the bench has also been lively. And it's kind of tough to say because he's been maybe one of the best forwards, if not the best forward Liverpool have had all season. But when he comes off the bench, it definitely brings a different energy to the team. Would it be useful to have him off the bench and come into the game, say, if Liverpool are down 1-0? Or do you think it's better to get off firing and close the game out?
I think he should start. But if he didn't, I would not be shocked because Klopp loves Bobby Firmino. He's a great player. He doesn't necessarily score the goals, but he creates a lot of chances, and he's definitely a very important, skilled player. And I would not be surprised if you saw the standard front three that we've been watching for years, seeing Mo, Bobby, and Sadio. But for me personally, if I was setting my lineup, I would put Jota in.
And now, just to end the show, I'm going to ask you 3 quick questions. The first being your scoreline prediction. The second being who you think will score the first goal. And obviously it could also be on Real Madrid. And the third being who you think will be the absolute X factor for the game. If Liverpool or Real Madrid were to win this game, it would be because of this player.
Well, we all know I'm not picking anything Real Madrid. I think that Thiago Jota is going to score 2 goals. And Liverpool are going to win the game 2-0. And the 2 X factors are going to be Jota and Fabinho.
Can't even pick one. The two that have been the hottest.
Both important in very different ways. Fabinho's why we're going to get the clean sheet, and we're going to shut down Benzema, and Real Madrid's not going to score. And Thiago's going to be the one finishing off the plays for us.
All right. Well, Zach, thank you very much for being on the show. Thank you guys for watching The Bottom Line, Liverpool from the USA. We're going to have some post-match after the game, but if you want to join the show, please feel free to message me, comment in the comment section below, and we can have more American fans, and we can even have a group Zoom maybe, and have a lot of Liverpool fans after a certain game. But thank you again for watching, and you'll never watch alone. Thanks, Zach.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Robbie Aronson, and this is The Bottom Line, Liverpool from the USA.